heart is beating, it's magical, the music's playing, losing control, the things I'm feeling, so mystical, the rhythm goes, and I can't feel the heat, and I keep moving to the beat, 'cause I'm letting go, gotta let them know, losing all control on the dance floor, we don't care, we dancing all night long, we don't care, we dancing all night long, we don't care, we dancing all night long, my heart is beating, it's magical, the music's playing, losing control, the things I'm feeling, so mystical, the rhythm goes, and I can't feel the heat, and I keep moving to the beat, 'cause I'm letting go, gotta let them know, losing all control on the dance floor, we don't care, we dancing all night long, we don't care, we dancing all night long, we don't care, we dancing all night long, dancing all night long, 'cause I'm letting go, gotta let them know, losing all control on the dance floor, we don't care, we're dancing all night long.
Holding on to what I know, to everything I've learned, what is real and fabricated. What is wrong? What is my problem? How can I get out of this world that I created? Fighting the storms in my head, don't know where I have been. I'm alone, no one to turn to, no one understands. Shit's too complicated. Away, and I feel like I am someone else. Away, and I feel like I don't know myself, no. Away, and I feel like I don't know my name, and I don't want to live this way. I don't wanna keep on wasting a life. I'm drowning in my head, I'm losing my mind. And if you could know, yeah, if I could show you, I don't wanna keep on living this life so faceless.
Unknown Brain, Marvin Devine, and we back.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. Made it through the rain and rain, I turn nothing into something. No more dealing with their assumptions, 'cause I do what I gotta do and I know, can't nobody do it like me. All they do is judge me for who I might be. Maybe if they took some time to pick my mind, they see that I'm cooler than lemons and iced tea. All I wanna do is live it up with a
keep on wasting life.
Yeah.
I'm drowning in my head, I'm losing the mind. And if you could know, yeah, if I could show you, I don't wanna keep on living this life so faceless.
So faceless. She burns the bridges in my head by lighting up a fire. Bury my old thoughts instead so you could feel the same. I lay alone with you inside my mind. We would dance the night away to the morning light. Can I give you all of my love till we dance the night away? Can I give you all of my love till we dance the night away? And we give you all my love, all my love, all my love. And we give you all my love, all my love, all my love. Yeah, yeah. And we give you. In my mind, missing the fights. I don't care if I'm right. Let's just buy a bit more time. I live alone with you inside my mind. We would dance the night away till the morning light. Can I give you all of my love till we dance the night away? Can I give you all of my love till we dance the night away? And we give you all my love, all my love, all my love. And we give you all my love, all my love, all my love. Yeah, yeah. And we give you.
Hey, Mama Duck. Good morning and welcome back to Frankenmuth. This is LCDAR AA Ron, but you can just call me AA Ron for short. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. Try to stay cool from that hot summer sun that seems to be affecting so many of us, including us here in the state of Maine. But today we're in Frankenmuth, and we're in Frankenmuth the end of November. And I know what the label says. I know that the label says that we are going to be doing a December corn harvest, and that is surely what we are going to be doing here. But this is the final day in November, so we've got a few chores to finish up and a few things to do, and we're going to get started with that first. So it's a beautiful, crisp morning. Let's take a look at the forecast to start. This is actually important, not so much for today, but for tomorrow. Looks like we're in the 50s and sunny today. Looks like December 1st is shaping up to be a good day as well. How are you doing today, Mama Duck? Hope you're doing well on this Saturday night. Hope you're not too busy. Tax-free weekend, and your gas prices are like totally down. Yeah, I just went through like the hottest, most humid week we've had here in the state of Maine. And I can honestly say, being on my feet and being in and out of AAC and stuff, that swelled me up. And so we're doing okay. Family stuff, there's some drama going on, but that's not even stuff I'm involved with. All right, so let's head over to the cow barn first. This is due to the mechanics of this game, this is a once a month thing because of the way that they have time set up. Yeah, no, not really. This is honestly one of the first times that I've seen, like, been on the edge of a family fight with drama and actually, like, not been involved in any way, shape, or form. And I get blamed for things when they pop up, just simply because that's what you do, right? Is you blame people that aren't necessarily members of your family by blood. And that's normally what happens here, but what happened here is something that I'm not involved with. All right, so we are going to check on the cow pens. So we have almost 0 in total mixed rations for the pen with 80. We have... Wow, okay. So we need to get TMR going first. Yeah, it's kind of awkward. So the Holsteins are doing good. They're producing milk at a decent rate. We've got some new companies in town that will be affecting next year's crop planting when we go into the spring. But today's focus is going to be animal care first. Got my new John Deere 5M, the feed cart. We're going to get some feed in here. We did some straw blown in the other day, so straw's all set on the barns. But we need to get feed going here. For whatever reason, this silo's blower's on, so we're going to shut that off. I'm actually going to go around and shut that off first here. 600,000 liters of silage. That'll probably feed us for close to like a year and a half. Besides that, the family's doing okay. It was just a big week. Kind of uneventful, to be honest. Alright, so we've got this down to a science. About 15,000 liters of silage. And 15,000 liters of hay. Luckily, all of our mixes come out of belts or augers, so we don't have to worry about shuffling any of the bales in. You can see some Heston bales we experimented with. They're a bit more heavy duty. Today we're actually going to get the hay out of the primary silos here for haylage. See, we've got a decent amount, and we'll fill the rest up with hay. So we want to get these mixes done. We'll get a few chores done. I just kind of wanted to show people what the end of a month looks like on the farm here. We've got a lot of busy work around the stalls and everything to do. Milk to be sold, things of that nature. We've got a couple of vendors that will sell raw milk to customers in the area now. It's kind of an added benefit. I've added some mods. Just that's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Okay, let's see. Tip side, left. Let's do right. Oh. Shut the tractor off. No. Alright, so we're going to fill up this barn first, and then we're going to go next door and fill up the other barn. I think they fixed the trigger on this, so unloading happens at only certain points. 5M going there. Looks like we've got 13,000 liters of slurry in. That is actually this barn, the 70 cattle. We're going to try to go completely to hay for our heifers in the homemade cow barn. And then our 42 by 22, we're going to go to a hay mix as well for a while. It's just an experiment to see if hay and grass is going to be substantial to bring productivity up. Obviously, we want to leave the mix for the Black Angus and yeah, and I still need to do some research and see when's the best time to sell my Angus cattle, but that's kind of a side note to the dairy farming. Looks like we'll be planting soybean crops in the next year, so all of our crops actually for planting are going to go through in springtime. So we've got some chores to run in this last day of November before we move on to December harvest. Bringing you along for the long haul of the end of the season harvest. Really, this is the last harvest we'll have. You can see some stones piled up. We've been doing some substantial stone picking on the fields. Last time that I came on. Of course, we'll have to get the harvesting equipment ready, the auger wagons, the trailers today, things of that nature. So prepare to stick along for the long haul as we get everything ready to go and we start our harvesting. Some improvements on the farm going. We got all of our new sheds built up. Getting ready to set some goals for some new farm equipment. Obviously we have an 8R, we have a 96, and a 95 20. Both of those tractors I think we're probably going to sell for a 9R. We'll see what we come out. It depends on how much we get for the harvest contract. The corn that we'll be drying is best sold in January, so we only have a couple of months to really dry corn. Hopefully that's enough time. But we will keep an eye on prices as well. Alright, let's see where the Angus are. Angus have 28,000 total mixed ration. So they've got a total of 58,000 liters in food. We're going to leave those alone today. Obviously, we don't need to worry about our heifers in the large reserve barn. And the homemade barn, we're going to let that go down to 0. And we're going to start working on hay. See how the productivity goes. So we are done with the food portion of this process. Right, shut that off. You can see it's only 5 in the morning, so we still have the red lamps on here. Just kind of light up the barn. It just helps us so we don't have to adjust our pupils. Standard light or brighter light, but nothing needs to be serviced on this barn. Plenty of straw. Not going to worry about draining the barns of the slurry. We are going to close them up, though. This November air is a little chillier. Don't want to have the cows be uncomfortable. There is a vent at the roof to let heat out if there's excess heat, but for the most part, we are just trucking right in here today. Okay. So that's all set. We'll need to head down to the farmer's market and handle what we've been doing with our greenhouses. And we do also had to head up to our maple syrup that we've been producing. So we head down this way. We actually have to retrieve the truck to haul the milk. That we keep over at our farmer's market, which is where we kind of sell a lot of our goods. So most of the fields are plowed. We do have some fields with some weeds growing up here, but that's okay. That's just the name of the game. Have to check in on that poplar field a little later. See how those saplings are doing. We did decide where we missed our window to plant poplars. Went ahead and planted wheat here. Probably have to do some weed spraying, but we probably won't have to do that till around springtime. So that is actually in good shape. Yield potential and the expected yield are at 89%. So that's actually Sorry. Didn't look where I was going. Excited to get out into these cornfields a little later. Quite a treat. Don't know how much of the harvest is actually going to be shown. But, it's irrelevant. We're going to stay up for a while, so welcome to it. Farmer's market before dawn. Neighbors got quite a field set up here. We haven't purchased these fields, probably won't either, to be fair. But they are nice fields. The only issue is they've got an electrical line going through. But as you can see from the greenhouses, we have quite a load. And these hydroponic greenhouses have been great for producing strawberries. So the first thing we want to take a look at today is pricing on our crops. So we do have 100% of our wheat actually located at the flour mill at the moment. So you can see there's just under 500,000 liters of wheat being ground into flour. We do have some milk going through the standard dairy. These are all the processes of these side gigs that we do here. So we've got 3.8 million liters of hay stored away. And then strawberry ice cream we have going pretty strong at the moment. Maple syrup, you can see we've got plenty of water at our boil houses. And we won't get into the other productions here. But we are checking price listings today on strawberries for one. So let's go check strawberries. And this is something that's done at the end of every month. As you can see, price fluctuations show that for the month of November, December, and January are when they tend to spike. So we'll actually sell a bulk of the strawberries in January. Chocolate, we do have 10,000 liters on hand. The highest price spike on that is both January and January and May. You can see we actually get quite a lot for it. The grocery store downtown will buy it for the highest price. Homemade chocolate, it's hard to come by. 10,000 liters, that's like $60,000 there. So 6,000 per. You can imagine when that spikes up, that's going to be the best. But it is actually running kind of high right now. We don't have to worry about this. Dried corn is something that we'll be selling in January when that spikes up. Raw milk, cracked corn, cornmeal. Maple syrup will spike in February. So the maple syrup is not something that we're selling. I must have gone cleared by strawberries. There's a few things mixed in here that we just don't have. We are going to be looking at pellets as a possibility. We have a new pellet production plant that is offered to allow us some productions. Here we go. Strawberry ice cream, which is something we do have on hand. Looks like April will be the spike on that, although going through a small spike right now. Not enough of one for me to care, though. So we're going to leave the strawberry ice cream alone. Strawberries, we already said January. Let's see, is there anything else? What do we have? 40,000 of propane. We're not going to be selling our propane. Our propane is something we buy for the corn dryer. So it looks like at the moment, we have some pretty steady fluctuations with the ice cream. Best time for us to sell that is going to be April, though. And given current prices, it looks like actually pretty close to the overall price that you would get per 1,000. So it's $2,000 per 1,000 liters. So times that times 12, that's what you're going to get for an ice cream load. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get these things into storage further, just to kind of free them up. And then as soon as we're done, we're going to prep the harvesting equipment here a little bit. We're going to get that done. Keep in mind, I'm not sure if it's the forklift or the pallets themselves, but the pallets have a tendency to, the second pallet stacked on top has a tendency to skip off. So if you see one fall down today, you'd see me trying to do some weird work. Storing this facility back here, we have a tractor trailer enclosed trailer that we come to load that up and sell it to the highest bidder. These particular stacks, I don't know why I'm not doing this, but with these particular stacks we can actually spread the forks out and grab two up in a less than normal fashion, but a little crooked, but it's not like we're packing it crooked into the back. rig trailer. I like to do the furthest way. I'm not really doing anything in particular. But it looks like we'll probably be able to get away with one more month of water inside exactly what it is. So I'm just going to leave it exactly as it is. See how miserable and how stupid I am when it comes to that on. Can't see. Storage units by Omatana, in case you're wondering. They store all of it so I can get around the 150 pallet count. They come with special trailers that auto-load from the storage fleets as well as from any of your productions. You can even use those warehouses to do things like store bales. So if you're trying to get around the bale count, one of the easiest ways to do that is to actually use Omatanas and then transport them with the trailer to like a hayloft. So if you are playing on console and you still want to do it to a higher degree than what the console actually allows you to do, this is a very easy way of starting that. Just an FYI. So you're stuck with 200 bale count like I am. So we've got 200 bales, 150 pallets that can respond at any one time. Let's try to get... Like I said, I'm not very good with forklifts. I'm not much better with skid steers or anything else, but... Farmers market, of course, is not open this early. Remember? It's only open fairly early. Summer months. Sell points are also by Omatana. Production points to make ice cream is Omatana as well. Follow her on Facebook. You can follow her on Twitter as well. I actually follow her on Twitter. I follow a lot of other modders on Facebook. Her in particular, I follow on Twitter. Just gotta take care of the ice cream while we're here too. That's not gonna give you an accurate count. What is it? Ice cream pack. Yep. See what I mean? You pick up just a little speed. The whole thing comes toppling down on the second stack. It's kind of crazy. I think it's the forklift, but I've only ever used this laser forklift. I haven't tried the Manitous. Of course, 700 liters. So it was accounting for 2 of those. It wasn't accounting for all 4. 1,400 per stack. It tries to correct itself when it... Wow. Okay. Well, this is the joys of doing this on stream. Yep. Okay. Looks like we've got an accident on our hands. Oh. You know, I think at this point shows the shortcomings of the console not to have like, the chain pulls we have. So let's go. And this is always the thing about streaming these things, guys. So we've got a little accident. We've got to go pick up a piece of equipment that I was holding off on bringing over the section. Sometimes on the farm. Where we're not really using it that much on the farm, except to spike straw bales and get those indoors. Lift. A little nervous. I'm going to switch over to December and that stuff's going to go there. So hopefully we're not about to get a short stream on our hands. Okay, let's look this way. Nothing coming. This way. Alright, looks like we got to get the big dog out and we got to get the trailer out. Take care of that lawn mowing, lawn servicing trailer here. Always got a bad day going with that forklift. I don't know why. Let's get the strobe started up on this. Some lights turned on here. Get this truck out very often, especially not for transport jobs. Gotta get that piece of equipment righted. Our Kubota R640. Use it just basically to haul standard bales around the yard. We're going to graduate to Heston next year. We need to nail spikes. Luckily, we keep everything right in the operation for this particular reason. Our vendor and our tractor supply company is switching over to some Kubota options here. Where are the forks? they're switching over to some tractor supply options. There's the forks. I said I knew I had them in the yard still. I thought I put them over with empty seat pallets. Okay, anyway, we've got our vendor switching over to some Kubota stuff. Some servicing equipment. Still 90% Deere. They're picking up Kubota as kind of a side thing, trying to entice some customers with lawns and smaller operations than others. Decided to take care of the farmyard with a basic Kubota house. It's not doing the job we were hoping that it would do in case of telehandlers, but we're about to test it on some things. Of course, we have a skid steer loader up at our Maple Grove, which is mostly servicing. That as well is very nice. We actually enjoy the skid steer a lot. Alright, let's get this over to the farmer's market and let's get that righted. Some pieces of equipment for the John Deere 8R. Let's get the mountings from the arms. A little accident there as well. That's okay. Mandako field roller has been working phenomenal at packing seed beds. You can see that our grass. We'll be doing a little more hay work next summer. Honestly, considering replacing our corn silage with that. We have enough corn silage to go for a while. With the 4.8 million in bunker, as well as the 600,000 in silage. Good enough. We are thinking of tearing that silo out. Unfortunately, that's been kind of a headache for us. It doesn't seem to ferment very quickly. It causes problems and just lets air in. So there's some silos. We are thinking about putting some stave silos in. Switching over, like I said, to haylage. Haylage and standard hay. So we're not open, so I can get away with parking this bad boy right here. Actually shut off. Shut the truck itself off. Don't want to burn too much diesel. The combine's going to do that enough for us tomorrow. Let's get this lit up. Let's get it off. See how quick that worked? Alright, we're going to put this on the trailer, but we are going to take it up to the Maple Grove with us. Obviously, we've got some Kubota implements now in hand. Trying them out. We're buying some of our hay equipment as Kubota. We've got mowing decks that go with our John Deere. It's Kubota. Giving some things a shot because, obviously you switch to whatever your tractor sales store has on hand. We're just going to go ahead and strap this down first. Alright, let's get back to the work at hand, shall we? So we got to just clear the strawberries, put them into the bay here. All hand-picked by our staff here that maintain the market. It's a nice market, what can I say? actually considering going to a longer arched variant. These hydroponics have been so good at growing the strawberries that we may buy up some of the surrounding land and actually put in some lettuce and tomato places as well. Haven't really made up our mind there yet, though, and advancing the farm and greenhouses is not necessarily what we want to do, but we're going to see. Actually, there was one crop I did not take a look at. I meant to take a look at it. I know this is pricing and other things. This is not harvesting. I promise there'll be harvesting in here very soon. We're just going to finish up this stuff. But let's get pricing on flour. We have 60,000 liters of that. So flour will peak out next month. So next month, amongst all the corn harvesting, hopefully we'll get the corn harvesting done in the first 2 days of December. I can't guarantee that all of it's going to be on stream. But I can say that we'll try our hardest. So just wanted to get something that was flexible. Here. Luckily for us, we have the ability to double grab. The double stack seems to be where the issue is. We've got a couple of these forklifts. We have one at the grain mill. We'll sell what grains we have there. It'll probably take another year for us to grind and get some more grain squared away for sales, but in the meantime, we will replace the wheat that we're grinding with a fresh batch of wheat. The plan will probably be in the spring to take a couple of the other large fields and plant some oats on it. Not doing too much with winter wheat crop. We've got one field of winter wheat. That's it. So it'll be a stretch. Luckily for us, most of the January, February, and April sales will kind of propel us over. Our ice cream operation is not gigantic, but if you wait until it's the highest price, you can at least get something for your production. So that's what we're waiting until we have a video on that. That is certainly a cash cow, and then we may advance the system into a new system. So we'll see how that goes. There are talks coming from the financiers around that they may put industrial bakery in, which would be a perfect place for us to either produce bread and to buy in. Looks like the local co-op's looking into that. So there may be a chance for a farmer's created bread. We want to beat the snow out, but we want the ground to be cold enough for our combine not to sink in the cornfield. It's part of the reason we have the tile plows, of course, into the drainage here. Most of the town actually does have massive drainage systems. But you never know with combines, they're quite heavy beasts. Try to seems to help if you stay slow. I got a little overconfident with the double fork system and this thing. Got confident that it wasn't gonna throw me off, but it did in fact throw me off massively. Almost lost the top there. Oh. Forgive me, I'm moving around. I'm all wireless now and my controller setups and everything. Whew. I've got a fan blowing on me. If there's any feedback in the mic, please say something to me. I'm not hearing anything, but I try not to leave too many devices sound on because I don't want to hear my voice echoing over and over and over again. So if anybody hears anything, please just let me know and I'll make adjustments to the fan. But it's been rather hot here for the last week. We're talking upper 90s with high humidity rates. If I could get 91 and no humidity, or practically no humidity, that would be the ideal situation. But we're finally getting into those supercharged hot bunches of air that have been affecting a lot of the country. For any reason you can hear the devices that are moving air around for me, please just let me know and I'll do my best to reposition them. Let's get in here and get these strawberries. Like I said, we can be crooked on the forks. We just can't be crooked when it comes to packing the truck here. This is probably the most time-consuming job I have for standard work on the farm. Is just tending to the greenhouses. But like I said, we've got milk to sell. We've got maple syrup to get away from the what they call a sap house. Boiling down the maple syrup and getting that boxed, and hopefully we'll get to sell a bulk of it here at the farmers market because that's where we'll get the best price per gallon. We have some gallons, we have some quarts, we even have some mini bottles. Unfortunately, we don't have the time or energy to do maple candies, although those are fantastic if you ever get the chance. But we have been cultivating all the maples in that area. We've Got some new beehives set up and a few different things done up there. In fact, the honey production is the main reason I wanted to bring that other Kimona up. The telehandler unfortunately cannot handle the weight of the pallets that we're using. And if you're wondering why it can't handle the weight of the pallets that we're using, we are using the mod that allows general productions to double in size of pallets. So the pallets are bigger. It's actually another preventative measure to keep me from having any issues. Unfortunately, that particular mod does not work with things like maple syrup and you know, dried corn, things of that nature. Anything that goes into a pallet that's mod will not work with the general productions. But if you can imagine, as a modder trying to keep up with the amount of production mods that we have now, it's a little insane. And then of course the mods that we're not getting back from 19 that were stellar mods. Between like the new stuff we're getting and the stuff that we're not getting back that people are really kind of hoping for, it's really kind of a shame. But modders do different mods every time, just A, for a new challenge, and B, because you don't want the same old stuff every single time. You want to experience something new. So obviously we're doing some greenhouse, we're doing some different productions on this map. Frankenmuth is fun. It's an easy American map to get wrapped up in. For any of you wondering, my enthusiasm came from playing through the first year's winter cycle here, where it just kind of buried us in snow, and that's pretty common in New England, and to have it kind of repeated in Frankenmuth, where you get lake effect snow, it's just nice to see some details on it. Next stream will come from... Well, I haven't made up my mind if we're going back to Western Wilds or whether we're going back to South America yet, to the Jackdaw. I gotta see. I think the Jackdaw was a couple weeks ago that we did that last. And we're doing a few things to try to make a little money on there. But I've got to try to advance time so that we can do some coffee. I'm a little frustrated with that stream map. And not because there's anything wrong. That map's actually a very solid map. Alright, so that's the strawberries done. We'll leave the single pallet of strawberry ice cream, so then... Actually, forget it. I can carry this one, so... I'm just going to carry this pallet over. Let's go ahead and we will head up with our... Actually, I'm going to head up with the water first. Got to fill up the sap houses. You can see we've got kind of a stand on the outside here to try to sell some of our maple syrup. But we really need to fill up the sap houses with water. That'll give us a chance to go in, open up the gate, and we'll just fill up the sap houses and we'll leave. We'll come down and get the truck. Around pallets, it's the last production where there's any bulk of pallets being sent. Obviously, we don't have anything to sell today. November is a quiet month. We don't have too many crop types, so that helps. Like I said, I think a bulk of our crop is going to go straight to soybean next year. Just simply because you can take an all crop header and get rid of the soybean if you need to make chaff for silage, or in our case, there is a new company coming in that's actually going to make tofu, kind of in answer to the alternate meat products. So in a way, we'll be providing to the standard meat meat market as well as the vegetarian market, which we're actually looking forward to. But that's coming out of our, there's a few companies being offered out of our farmers co-op here. See, the road's a little jumbled now from a little landscaping we had to do. Gonna overload some water here. While that's overloading, we're gonna check. That's got plenty of water there. Plenty of water there. So our sap houses are actually pretty full here, and as you can see, we've got some great pallets made up. A nice wide road here. We'll be doing some landscaping in the off season before any substantial snow hits to put another dirt road in down through here. But you can see we've got the barn open. This is the stack of our maple syrup so far. We may haul some of this down to our storage warehouse on the other side of the map. This is our one thing of honey, and as you can see, 1,222 liters is 1.8 tons. So almost 2 tons of honey. It's a substantial problem that we're having. And we've got some pallets over here that's simply... Okay, so there's 2,000 tons there. We've got some pallets that just simply can't be moved by the skid steer. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and let our manager of this particular maple syrup grove let him know that that's ready to go. That'll start boiling some sap up. Let's get ourselves back down to the greenhouses. Okay. Let's get this squared away. That's gonna drive me nuts. Don't have anything new or great on sale. Oop. Construction. I'll be honest and say I didn't even notice this. Let's soften up the area. It's not even letting me soften. So let's paint. Gravel. There we go. Now we have a drive around for the paint in the neck area that won't soften. Alright, moving on. This is the busy work that we do in between doing field work. It's nice to have productions, it's nice to have greenhouses, it kind of keeps us from going crazy, I think. You can do the same fields over and over and over again, and that's cool until you get to the point where it's not cool, and then it's just kind of, it's an annoying frustration. Just leave it at that. So we'll now go pick up the loader, Kubota loader, and up to the grove, see if that has any influence on things. And we'll leave this parked right here for right now. Turn on the strobes, turn on the running lights. We've got enough light now, we don't have to actually turn on major for headlights. We don't have the running lights on. Down here and see if we can't get things shifted over. narrow enough to fit in the gate here. I think we are. Oh, caught the tire there on the loader. I had a feeling we might do that tonight. Go. Trelleborg offered us a dual system on the front, so that's what we took advantage of here. But we're going to see if this thing can actually move. It's another thing that we're kind of reviewing. We haven't had much luck with telehandlers so far. So we're hoping that we'd have better luck with the loader here. And unfortunately, we do not. We might have... We're having a little better luck moving it around. We're gonna move these pallets over to a solid spot here. You can see we moved our... built a few new beehives that are a little less European in design. Fortunately, I think we're going to have to look at a tractor with a weight on the back. That's even too much weight for this. And the RS640 is nice. A little more lightweight. I mean, that's kind of the thing with Kubota, is they're a little more compact. They're a little more lightweight than you'd really expect to see on too much. But those jars of honey, those pallets are really a metric ton. We could probably get a weight strapped to the back of this, and we will try kind of a weight on the back, kind of ballast it out. But for now, that's what I wanted to check on. This is my new pride and joy in the farm. This Kubota is fantastic. I actually like this skid steer quite a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of skid steers. This skid steer even comes with weights on the back here, so we can carry stuff like this maple syrup. Unfortunately, the honey is just too heavy for everybody. Maple syrup is perfect in weight. Allows me to carry 2 at a time back. Just kind of take it easy on our turning. It's really good. It's got a great sound recording to it. It's got a great feel to it. It was just an excellent addition to Farming Simulator, honestly. I think we're going to actually get a truck in here off camera this winter time. Get a lot of this hauled off to the warehouse. I'm going to have 150 freaking pallets of this before it's ready to be sold. guest, Mama Duck, disappeared fairly early into this stream. Thanks for the hello. If you're still there listening and you have your granddaughter tonight, I hope it's going well. Streaming has not turned out to be my cup of tea, although I do enjoy streaming Farm Sim. I have so much going on in my life that we don't get to do it as often as when I was unemployed, of course. I've got some really awkward stacks going on, I know. Ranch Sim. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I hope you didn't feel that way anyway. I get caught up in this. I'm trying not to be, like, ridiculous in technicalities with the stream. I feel like I turn a lot of people off with that. I don't get viewer engagement, and I have like such struggles with it. I'm good? Okay. I'm just double checking. I put a lot of streams on in the background when I'm doing stuff on like Farm Sim or, you know, other things that I play. And I feel the only reason that they don't feel like it's a problem is because these are people that have like, you know, 150, 200 people in their stream. You know, they rarely have time to notice who's talking and who's not. Alright. 2 more sap houses to go here. Actually gonna open. Oh my god. I'll open the side door because it'll be easier for me to access those 2 sap houses from the side here. Be able to get around the trailer the short way rather than the long way. To get that a little better centered on the pallets. Okay. Oh, there we go. Feels like everything else is a struggle today. It was a long week at work. There were some moments that I really wanted to stream this week, and I couldn't because I had so much going on. So here we are. We're streaming streaming tonight. Obviously, I was a little preoccupied today with some crud to deal with, crud not to deal with, but just to be supportive. And the Saturday afternoon stream turned into the Saturday evening stream. Which is okay. Better to be supportive than to ignore. I have a family first, streaming second rule, and I'm sticking with it. Alright guys, so we'll have one more errand to run after this. I think we're just going to leave the loader up here. Because as far as loaders go, I don't need anything down at the farm itself for a while. And we'll definitely be up here to take some of these maple syrup pallets to the warehouse over the winter. The good news about Frankenmuth is you're never short of actual tasks to do in the wintertime. Given the amount of snow that falls and the amount of facilities that we now have sales or productions on, means that clearing snow can be an all-day endeavor. And when I say all day, I mean a couple of actual hours in game. So that is something to be aware of. Alright, so those are the last 2 pallets of maple syrup. Like I said, it doesn't take quite as long as the strawberries do. I think it's just because I have the Kubota. I'm honestly thinking of going to a skid steer for all of my facilities and just getting rid of the forklifts altogether. But, you know, that is what it is. So, we'll just leave the, gonna leave the loader up here for now. Actually have a use for it at the moment. May have to go back to a single tire configuration. Nope, it fits. Okay. So I may have to go because it doesn't fit into some of this. It's very easy. We don't need a loader. We have, like I said, we have the front loader for the 8R, so it doesn't matter if this sits up here for a while. Gonna have to figure out how to handle the bees, although the bees should stop here after this month and be entirely dormant. We managed to get one of the pallets off. It'll be a little harder to sell that. We might have to go to an auto load option. Alright, so we've actually got to go down to the dealership for this next errand to run. Shouldn't take us very long to get that done, but we have to get that handled first. Today we have to look at a piece of equipment that's going to be demoed out to us for the winter. We're actually going to use it attached to our snowblower. And then we do have to look at the possibility of getting a belly trailer today for grains. And you know, doing this the day before a corn harvest is not the greatest idea in the world. Got to take a look at a couple of options here as we get going. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do not condone blowing through stop signs like that. It's funny, our maple groves are actually off of Maple Road. I didn't even notice that until now. Drainage ditches have quite a lot of water in them. We've been lucky enough to have a lot of rain end of September through October. November's been a little drier, but as you can see, the ditches are filled pretty good. Draining right off of there. That's part of the reason we're waiting for December here. Whoa! I guess they're good at stopping at stop signs like I am. Holy moly, just almost got wiped out by that person. To the dealership here. It should be small enough to actually fit on this trailer. We'll shut the truck off in case this takes us a long time. But this is the Kubota M8 201. This is a 200 horse medium tractor from Kubota. This is the largest one that Kubota currently makes. We had them keep the narrow tire configuration on there. We've got to get into some spots with the snowblower that we wouldn't normally. But we've been lucky enough that they're allowing us to demo the M8 for the winter. So we're actually going to get to try this sucker. Get to try this sucker with the snowblower attached. So we'll actually be driving this up to the farm, and as we clear out, because we're going to clear out tractors from there, from the shop, and we're going to reorganize a little better. As you can see, she's got a couple globes, but we're going to have to travel to different sections of Frankenmuth to do snow blowing and snow clearing. So we got a hold of them and said if they had anything worth demoing with they could run a snow blower, it'd be great. And they supplied us with the biggest tractor that Kubota makes. So here we are, the Kubota M8 on demo. We may decide to keep her. We may decide to buy in at the end of winter. We may also decide that we don't want to keep her and sell her, but luckily we have a big enough truck to sell it. It's not a huge tractor. We've got some John Deere tractors in the medium size category that carry a few more horses than she does. But we'll keep her in the shop, snowblower facing out most of the time, and we've got to prepare for snow because we've got snow in December's forecast pretty heavy. But it's more of a concern of the following months when we get some real heavy snow. We've got to sell stuff and keep our production centers clear. And our farmers co-op has asked us to keep the new co-op area clear. They've got some productions in there, so we're going to do that. So yeah, that's the biggest news, is the addition of the M8 Kubota. I know it's not green, but I have a thing for Kubotas. And so I was more than happy to actually try out. Got some things on sale, but they don't have things on sale that we want. So let's take a look here and see what they're offering. So we've got a Wilson Pace Setter. It's a decent trailer. Load King Triple Hopper. The Load King Distinction Super B. Get a gooseneck with a tipper. Yeah, so I think we're gonna end up with the Load King Distinction. Let's do a dark green, and let's do No white on that. That looks good, right? Let's go with an orange. And let's go with a white sides, because that'll match our Mack truck a little better. Yeah, so $140,500 today. We're going to do that because we do need a grain trailer, honestly. And that'll leave us with $72,000 for the end of the year, plus we begin to harvest. So we'll have to come fetch the Load King today. It's a nice thing, though, and our horse will be able to pull right up to it and offload. We're going to, because a horse is not the biggest grain bin, we don't have to worry about using the heaviest tractor to pull it. We'll be in luck here. Sorry, I do like to stay hydrated during these things. Let's get this back to the farm. Let's have this as the first thing. Like I said, our dealership's been moving over to Kubota tractors for a while, and Kubota implements and things, and they were able to get this tractor in. And of course, I said, why not? You know? Definitely want this piece of equipment on the farm for the winter, and if we decide to keep it, we can shuffle, shuffle a substantial amount of funds from harvest right over. And honestly, this particular tractor could replace a bulk of our medium tractors to boot. So Kubota M8 may become more of a staple. See, this one has loader arms on it, so we may even consider getting a front loader for the winter as well. Haven't made up our mind how we're going to handle that just yet, Alright, so let's get ourselves parked in this section. I'm going to leave that main door available. Let's go ahead and load. Actually going to detach the truck here. Alright, let's get the she starts up nice. Like I said, just a nice 200 horse tractor. If we decide to go to hay equipment, it's a very good option for grass work as well. She could run the mowers that we have available. So we may get rid of a couple of John Deere medium-sized tractors for this. Definitely on the larger horsepower, we'll still need something a bit more substantial. But that's because we have a large herd. If we had a small herd, we'd be doing things differently. let's go ahead and we'll park her outside of our cedar barn here. Okay, so first piece of equipment parked. As you can see, the barn or the maintenance shed is our one heated shed. We'll be changing this over to wood chip heat once our poplars come of age and we can get our first harvest going there. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's open up some doors here. Get some air circulating in the shed. We don't have the heat running just yet. I know it's in the 50s, but we have 0 plumbing, and our diesels will still start just fine. 8400R. And there's our Samaz snowblower. This is what we're using. So we want to go ahead and get things shifted. Probably won't need to put anything up on the car lift, but you never know. A lot of this stuff is actually going to go into cold storage. I'm going to leave the big stuff actually in storage. We're not going to need this much. If we have a chance to use these big 4-wheel drive articulatings, it'll be because we have time on our hands. But let's go ahead, let's get this shed open as well. Nice hydraulic lift. We got a light in the center, so at night we can actually do work. As you can see, we've got plenty of room to park this stuff on the far end. So that is what we are going to do. We're actually going to park this stuff on the far end of the shed. Probably actually going to clear this out. Let's get the M8. I know, I just got the... Whoa, okay, I think it's because I'm in this shed. So I am going to take a moment to talk about this, because I want people to see this, but I want people to also understand what happens. So, the modder of these, the creator of these particular sheds, and I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, so I'm just going to say it. Made some awesome, meticulous, American-style mods. Gutters going with proper spouts. You have to open the doors from the inside, turn on lights using switches and things like that. Great. In order to make it more efficient to run the map, when you're literally inside the sheds, if the doors are shut, it despawns 90% of stuff outside. So it actually despawns it so it runs smoother. Now when you shut the doors on the shed, the contents of the shed are actually despawned if you're outside. So a lot of the bulk of the stuff inside this shed, for example, despawned. Just outright despawned, not here. So keep that in mind when you see that stuff. That's not a visual glitch. That is my camera being spawned from the inside, but still being able to see outside because I'm kind of clipped through. So just to deviate from the stream, that is what's going on. It's a nifty little trick by the modder. Now, I don't speak in codes, I don't mod, so I'm not necessarily familiar with like the full technical terms of what exactly that is doing. But it is a wicked it's a wicked neat trick, and if you're unsure of the dialogue or a dialect. I'm from Maine. Wicked is just something we say for in place of like very good. So just keep that in mind. That's a neat, an actual very productive way of doing that. Alright, so we got this parked here for now. We're going to get the work shed cleared out. That's kind of our first job today. We're going to get all these all-wheel drive tractors actually out into the shed where they're not needed. So we're not going to be doing any more major tillage or minor tillage today. Or any more this year. So we'll take our two. Like I said, in the spring, We'll probably sell the remainder of our dried corn, and then from there we will probably go ahead and buy one 9R by selling the 9630 and the 9530. Haven't made up my mind. I always seem to go back to these tractors after I've sold them. So maybe not, but we're going to find out. You can see we've got two of these 9610s. We will probably see if there's any STS harvesters on the market. The dealership we're dealing with will still be doing John Deere on top of the Kubota stuff that they're doing. So we shouldn't lose access to the big equipment. That's funny. I'm sorry, 9620 and 9630. I'm getting bad with my number designations. If you've seen any of my past streams when we were on FS19, or maybe some of the ones before I started working, you may have noticed better attention to details. This is a 9630. This is a 9620, and I do apologize. I'm just a little out of it. Okay, let's get into the 8000. Let's actually pull this forward a little, because we'll put the 8R in the center. We can maneuver around the 8R. But I need a little space to get this 9610 out, because this 9610 is going to be our corn harvester. And we'll be getting that out soon. I would get a second head, corn head, but honestly I don't want to just run grain cart. Alright. I'm going to get this 8R over to the other shed. It's not unusual. I mean, we could get these technically packed into the workshop if we did a Jenga piece. But I need to be able to do winter projects, get things like the vehicles up on the lift and stuff like that. If I have to do any of that, I would rather not have to move things and park it outside in the cold while I worked on those. So this should actually work. This is not anything. So we're just gonna let the weight down and detach it. Got the big old LSWs on it. It's been doing most of the rock picking for us. So we put some balloon tires on. We've ran some slurry out into the fields, some of the grass fields that needed the slurry manure spread out, and we did rock picking in the other fields. And we actually have changed out the rock picker that we are using. Before we were using these two stone pickers. Now we're actually using the Scorpio 550. And I'll show you a map of the differences for that. So you can see there are a lot of gaps in the cultivation map. It's this light blue. Now, when you come down to here, this is the cultivation with the Scorpio so far. You can see we're not done field 24 yet. We've got some gaps and ends down here, but we have a huge chunk of that done. We've got all of these done. And when you look at the rock map, which are these light yellow specks, that's the same idea. We're actually doing extremely well with the Scorpio. We're not doing so extremely well with this. We've missed some. See, field 11, we've got some on, but field 11's now a hay field. So it doesn't even matter. We shut the stone map off. You can see 10, 11, and this strip up the side are now hay, as well as 36 down there. So we're going to probably, if we can get enough hay, we are probably going to retire this and get this sold off. And we are looking at potentially getting... Let's see if it's... Yeah, we're looking at potentially getting a 3765 with some haul behind Massey Ferguson tipper trailers. But that's a completely different day. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get this 9610 John Deere out of here. See, we've got the old Green Star system in it. Manual transmission with stick. Just gonna ease ourselves out of here. Like I said, we'll either continue to do harvest with these two harvesters that we have, because we have two bean heads, so we'll actually be able to do it, or we will go ahead and try to buy ourselves an STS model if we can help it. That's really kind of the plan. But we're supposed to get some winter snows in, and try to beat the snow in the best we can. I don't know the best place to start this field. See, we don't have everything quite cleared up on the farm just yet. Some pallets there. Gonna go ahead, we'll park this right over here. We're not gonna need to do anything. We'll just park her right here. I should be able to fit the 843 header through this gate. That's kind of what I built it for. We'll clear away some of this corn in the morning, and we'll get ourselves parked in there with a trailer truck as well as a grain cart. Alright, so now that we've got the big tractors in there, we've got the harvester out, we've actually got everything out of there that we need to, so let's close this up for now. We don't want to lot any additional air in that we don't need to right now. So we're just going to close up the shop. Like I said, you can kind of see it spawn in from here. Like you can see that stuff kind of... A lot of the details spawns out. It just helps it run more efficiently. It's crazy, I know, and you don't actually see that with sheds, but these sheds are massive. And they're well detailed. I mean, I've got two mediums and small. I've got the workshop, and then I have the massive with the hydraulic door. And I love it. I mean, it was a great restructuring of the map, honestly. Let's go in. Running duels on this already? I am running duels on this already, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll start that tractor up. Open the door. We'll use the 4955 for grain carting today. We normally use these for hay. We're gonna use it for grain carting today. Actually, yeah, 7810, great tractor for planting. We're going to be planting soybean with that in the spring. Typically mow with the 6250R. I think if we decide to keep the M8, we're going to shift this 6250R off of the farm, as well as the 7810, to kind of offset and pay for the expenses of that. Go ahead and let's get this out here, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to reason we're bringing this out. This is a nice tractor. And normally I'd do a little more with it, but I don't want to do anything more with it this season. We're actually going to drop the weight, and we're going to let the weight do the trick. If we do soybean next year, we're probably going to use this as the carting tractor. If we don't keep that M8. Let's just close this up. We won't need access to this shed probably for the rest of the year. Which is good, I guess. We're going to put the slice weight down on the 3-point linkage. Seems crazy, but we're going to have the grain cart on there. We don't want to have any problems. We're going to go get that grain cart. It's only 10 o'clock here. I should say. It's, what, 10:30? 10:30 in real life. Though 10:30 Eastern time in real life, I should say. Mama Duck's gonna correct me and say it's like 8:30 there. Wow, that was way off. It's been a long day, you'll have to forgive me. Got the horse all hooked up. This is actually a great pairing. I love these. I think this Titan is as large as the Kinsey trailer was, but if you're into console playing on this, then you'll know right away that the Kinsey trailers, for whatever reason, even though they're no more detailed than this horse, they take up a ton of slots. It's like 40 some odd slots or something stupid like that. Well, we've got the tractor here. Let's go ahead and let's fuel it. Gonna park this staggered like this. It doesn't leave a whole lot of room there, but we're not gonna have to come in and out of the yard. By doing the harvesting tomorrow, we'll actually be beating out a snowstorm. It's supposed to come in the following day, which means we may do some of this corn harvesting in the snow, but we're actually going to do a bulk of it on the first day if we can help it. So we've got that. I guess at this point, let's go ahead and let's just get the M8 squared away. I gotta actually squared away in the right side bay. Oh my god, that's gonna freak me out every time. Normally I only park implements like that. One of the things that will probably happen is if straw and everything else stays steady through spring, and I don't really have a need for hay or straw or any of that, we will probably go ahead and take our hay and just sell it to the animal dealers for the spring. Alright, so this is in here. This has got the snowblower pointed out. It's loaded. It's not terribly heavy, so let's go ahead and close on is norm. We don't have any servicing to do pre-harvest, so we will go ahead and we will just close these up. Just keeps the servicing bays nice and toasty and warm. Makes it easier for us to do things. We'll have to get the old blue lizard truck in. Let's go ahead and close the bay up on this particular shed as well. Love these sheds, I really do. If you look closely, sometimes you can see things disappearing. I would use the 4440, but I don't really have a use for it. And it will probably go to be sold next year. We've got more than enough tractors. The advantage of today is we're going to get the last of this set up, and then we're going to take the rest of the day off. You can see we've put in a grill and a picnic table. You can actually grill on it too. But let's go ahead, let's grab the truck. I'm just going to leave the flatbed out for now. Gotta check. The rest of the garage is closed up tight. Our grain trailers will actually go in this far one. Our dump trailer that we have for like all of our bulk goods, that will just come down here. Probably double check on the Angus cattle. Make sure that they have enough food. Like I said, I have to do a little more work to see when the best time to sell those is going to be. Dealt with cattle. Grain dryer is hooked up, so dry out the corn and then it'll go into the bins. We have room for 3 million liters of corn, and of course we'll get the dried corn out. Dump that in as well. Alright, well, while we're here, we need to do a little more preparation, or a little more putting stuff away. These productions aren't as busy and numerous, so this should go fairly If I recall right, though, we don't have nearly enough muscle to really you can tell even the weight. So this, This doubling productions mod, I am gonna mention this. I think you can see that this is very detrimental to moving around things like this. I mean, look at that. You can't even get it to cooperate in that regard. So, I mean, these lizards. Let's see, how much does it weigh? It weighs 5.1 tons. It's 5,000 liters of chocolate. I'm not sure. Not sure if the weight ratio is right or not, but chocolate and honey seem to be the worst. I haven't tried butter yet. I don't think I have tried butter anyway. You can see I have 5,000 liters of butter in there. There is straw at this storage barn. We just kind of put it away as or putting it in as packing material. We have some pallets of wheat over here. Productions don't move as fast as I'd like them to, which is why when somebody offers a production that does, you know, twice the speed or something like that, I tend to try them out. But this is, of course, the production that also can make cornmeal. But for the sake of this, we're gonna do dried corn. Some dried corn at least this year to try that out. So there's a few different options that we have for corn in game now. That is phenomenal, by the way. Unloading the flour into that warehouse is quick. So, Mack truck over there. That's what we're going to take back here. Send a farmhand back with our standard farm truck here, I think. Give it a shot anyway. We're going to see how it works. All right. So let's see, we officially have 75,000 liters of flour. I considered what I used to do with my diet, it's quite different as far as hydrating goes. Down to the end of the road, and then we're going to have, at least I think we are, might not, I don't know. Haven't actually tried AI on this map. I gotta be honest, I tried it a lot with Elm Creek. I got very frustrated with it, and that was kind of the end of it. So let's see, set destination, pick the target location as like right here on the road. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna get the Mack truck here and we're gonna drive that. That could get obstructed by traffic. We're gonna be traveling. It's traveling good, actually. I'm impressed. Gonna be traveling the same route, though, so if there's any problems, we're gonna come across it quick. Actually, now that I think of it, we're not, because we're gonna leave this here. The cover on it. We're gonna go down to the store and pick up the other trailers that we need. I wanted actual grain trailers and an actual grain cart. like that Demco, but it requires such a large tractor to operate it. Just not in the mood to put one of our articulating rigs on it. This is really loud from the outside, so we'll just do the inside. See, I could cut hay, but we're actually going to let our hay fields just kind of rest. I know it sounds ridiculous. Wow, says they completed their task. They must have done that in literal record time here. Let's see, we're trucking along. That visor makes it impossible to like see other things coming up. Real truckers would not have an issue like the visor. You can see our propane yard there for picking up propane. Always forget we just cross a highway. So there we go. We've got a 70,000 load. See, there's dual bins on either. So let's get these back to the farm, shall we? Road train, so we should probably push the flashers on here. I know this is kind of a big operation for what we're doing, but quite honestly, the farm is big. I hate that lamp post. That lamp post is just enough wrong area to cause me grief. That's another thing I have an issue with on these maps. And I have the issue with Giants tries to make these maps where you like merge onto roads a little more, so you don't see that, but just like taking a corner, I don't think this was actually built the way that a truck does. For all I know it is, and I should just shut my mouth a little bit. I don't know. Wage payment goes through for that little chauffeuring job. See our poplar. Quite nicely. Be quite some time before that poplar's ready to go. I miss the old 3-pod system where you basically get nice 3 rows going and planted at the same time, but what are you gonna do? Pull that into here for now. Got nothing planted in the field, so this isn't affected any. We're gonna try to do something here. Normally attempt, but where we've got the room back here on purpose, I'm just gonna get it set the right way. See, I'm always getting things caught. I'm always just screwing turns up just a bit much. Shut off those. Shut off the truck. I'm gonna leave the truck parked on this side here. So go ahead, we'll get our truck out of the way. Like I said, the service truck actually has diesel in it, so I'll have to make sure that we keep it nearby in case we need it. That way you can just take diesel out into the field. Alright, well there we go. November the 3rd, in my opinion, is in the books. So, if you'll bear with me, we're going to go in, get changed into some harvesting clothes, something that's good for the warm cab of a harvester here. Change into some jeans. Boots are good. Hat, we're gonna do that. And I don't think we need any gloves for this today. Alright, let's get some shut-eye and some rest with the family, and we'll be right back at this tomorrow. Let's shoot for a 6 a.m. start. Alright, so $1,000 in property management, $266 in production. We're going to bring up our menu here real quick and check on our animal pens. We don't want any problems. Okay, so self-made cow shed still isn't even out of total mixed ration yet. Total mixed ration's good there. TMR is good there. TMR is still good in with the Angus as well. With our Holsteins. So yeah, we are good to go with the harvest. Alright, so it is December the 1st. Let's check the temperature outside. It is 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know why we're getting, maybe the temperature's going to drop as the day continues. Looks like it doesn't start clouding over till noon, which is good. Alright, let's get the tractor started up here. The cold start worked. Just gonna turn on all the lights here. Leave it parked. Ahead and get this harvester dealt with. Alright, looks like cold start's working on her as well. 3. Alright, all the lights are on with her. And of course our truck. Which I actually think we're gonna park the truck down here and just leave it. We've got that parked next to the road. We're gonna have the flashers going with it. Let's get ourselves into the field. Welcome to December corn harvest in Michigan, which is not an, believe it or not, everybody, it's not an unusual thing for a dairy farm with corn that they combine. Don't leave it for December. They do the same thing with soybean as well. Let's let the traffic clear. Oh my, silly cars. Alright, so the first goal we're going to have is to just get ourselves some area cleared for our grain cart and for our rig to travel in. We don't have a drainage ditch down on this side, so that's where we're going to leave these suckers parked. We do have a drainage ditch on the other side of the road, but so we got to unfold the harvester. Blowing some material out the side. Like I said, we're gonna get ourselves squared away with our equipment here. Been a while, even in Farming Simulator 19, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to use these older combines. So this is a chance to actually buzz through and use something I didn't have the opportunity to before. See, we're kind of coming through here and laying it down fairly good here. It's a solid combine. Can't remember what the measurement amount was here, but I definitely enjoy the older John Deere combines. So it's nice that we have this combine to do it. I've never had the chance to do it with this head and this snout. I happen to like the 843 head here. It's actually one of my favorite John Deere setups of all time, so wicked thrilled, and it looks like the yield is actually performing at a good rate. Now I will say something interesting with precision farming is that the pH value on ground that had corn on it actually remains really good, even though the nitrogen does get wiped out. Now we've got weeds growing. That resets the field, but that's okay. You might notice if you come in cab, everything does in fact vibrate and shake. It's a fairly interesting system. I happen to like this system quite a lot. This is Sid Moddings though, and all of his combines are really good. One day we'll graduate to the X9. But I'm hoping that if we graduate out of this combine in the next couple of in-game years, that we graduate to something like the STS, which are also combines that are currently in testing or in the works or waiting to be tested. So, hang in there, we're going to get these one way or the other. So we're doing headlands first. This will take us a little while in this field. We are doing corn in December. We're going to do a straight line through here. As you can see, the yield potentials and the yields that we're actually getting through here are right at well above their yields. So we are actually getting a good yield out of this crop. Sounds honestly like the crop is healthy and dry enough. The ground seems to be solid enough. We're not sinking the combine, which was kind of the idea and goal of doing it this way. We're rolling at 6 miles an hour through this field. See the bin on the top, our hopper is filling up quite rapidly. This is phenomenal. I love this. This is kind of what I live for right here. Some dust build up and tearing through corn. Our neighbors aren't happy at probably my super early start here. Try to get lane opened up. We're gonna deal with this square first. Gonna deal with this area first before we deal with any other parts of our field. So the good news is it won't take long to get us turned around here. The bad news is the hopper is almost full already, but that's good news as well, because that means we're yielding a lot higher than I expected. You know, these are the first years where we're really working the fields themselves and fertilizing and herbicides and all of that are being worked by us. So this is an opportunity for us to get in, get this crop sorted, get everything taken care of ourselves. Let's see, we've got 20% left in the hopper. Let's pile it up. We don't want to get too much cab corn, so we're paying very close attention to this. As we go. And 10% left that we can put into this sucker. Oh, neither side is going to be easy to zoom to, unfortunately. This is the problem with the warping. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's go get our first load of corn and see how well this is going to do as a grain cart. See the combine out there. Maybe we'll get about 2.5 loads off of this grain cart before we need to worry about it. Stay put. We're gonna see how much this fills it up. I can't remember the exact level on this horse. See, the auger dumps it out fairly quickly. This will give me a chance to also hydrate. Alright, so that only does 34%. May actually be 4 loads before we have to head back to the truck with the corn. That would be ideal. Let's go ahead and let's harvest us some more corn. This is the part of Farming Simulator that I enjoy the most by far is getting to use the combines. I like haying and baling and doing a few of those other things as well, but there's something about combining corn, especially. I don't know. You know, obviously Frankenmuth is our big dairy map, but we are, you know, there was just so much silage that potentially could have been here that I just decided it would be in our best interest to go ahead and harvest what we have here, and then kind of move on from there. This is 9610 John Deere is fantastic at what it does. You can kind of see I got close to the edge of the fields and crunched down some stalks. It won't amount to tons of financial damage, thankfully. It's not like I drove in the middle of the field, but we fertilized and we put the right amount of herbicide down and everything else. So at the end of the day, what we're doing here for harvesting now is really paying off because of all the measures that we took and making sure that everything works. Just being on top of it, I think. Now, obviously, some things may work different next year where we're harvesting this now, but it's nice to just kind of have everything pay off. And there's 3 days to this month that I can harvest this corn in. I know we're supposed to get some snow here, so we're hoping to get this done. I'm not sure how well the combine's honestly going to handle snow. Normally, if it's just a couple inches, it's not a big deal, but this is also the first map in Farming Simulator that has introduced a feature allowing you to actually harvest corn in December. Like I said, this is a pretty common practice actually in Michigan. This is not an unusual practice for Michigan dairy farmers, especially those just within a couple hours of Frankenmuth itself. So the fact that we're doing this is not unusual. Could be very unusual in states that are further north than Michigan, and Michigan's kind of sits in the bottom of a U shape where the United States is concerned. And yeah, there's a lot of lake effect snow, and yeah, it can get cold. But in Maine, you won't typically see harvesting of that nature being done that late in the season. And in places like Vermont, you won't typically see that. Vermont's more temperate than Maine by far, as far as this goes. But you don't see this sort of corn harvesting going on in December very often in too many places. I'm not very knowledgeable about other zones of the United States. Obviously, corn's kind of a big thing to do in October and early November in a lot of states that I'm aware of. But in Michigan, it's not unusual to see a December harvest take place. And, you know, farmers may put off corn to the last minute, which is okay as long as the stalks aren't snapping off or something like that. You know, you can get away with a lot. As long as the weather holds right. If the weather doesn't hold right, this sort of harvesting would be a nightmare. And I mean, like I said, I'm not sure how the snow reacts in the game to harvesting because this is the first map that's allowed such a late harvest into a snowbound season. I know if I harvest, if I harvest in the rain, for example, I would get a reduction in harvest overall. You know, our harvest yields would actually be reduced. Whether or not it does it in this case, I have no idea. So we will probably run down the line and take care of the next inlet on this field, and then it's just back and forth a bunch of times. But as you can see, this harvester actually handles itself very well. 11,000 liters is far from the largest. I mean, some of the S780 models that are out there, or S600 models with custom modding, the S series models are in fact pretty top notch. And I mean, custom modding and SID modding, I think, are two very competitive individuals. So it comes down to personal preference. I enjoy them both. But it does become, excuse me, it does become very difficult to choose one over the other. If you decide you're going to have both their 8R models, for example, you might be interested to find out that there are some issues I found in the storefront. Alright. Well, she's handling the first bit of the load fairly easy. So we're just going to get this thing around and get her loaded up. I like this horse cart. I've been waiting for horse for a while. You can kind of see some of the material clipping through. That is slightly disappointing, but the clip through there is well, it's something that we're seeing with a lot of stuff, so I'm not gonna complain too heavy about that. Anyway, back to farming. Second load here. Set. Still don't have any problem with brakes. Distribution of corn. See the now that the frame's going up, So I'm gonna say 3 1/4 load. Or maybe just 3 loads. Love it, love it, love it, honestly. We need more collaborations like this, some older equipment. You know, it's not like I'm running the X9 with an 8R with the Demco trailer. You know, I'm running some older stuff, and we'll definitely be able to upgrade a few things after this harvest gets sold off, and some of the other productions sell off. November. Looks like that's a first of the sales. Excuse me for just a minute, I gotta mute my mic here. Alright. So let's keep on it. A little tired. Definitely not used to staying up as late anymore. Definitely don't ingest as much caffeine as I used to either. So that doesn't necessarily help things, but it does help me, so hopefully I'm not waking up the neighbors there with my combining. Combine's big and it's loud and obnoxious. I like this mod quite a lot. This has definitely been the combine of choice for a lot of this. I'm missing stuff because I'm just too busy being cool and showing different angled shots of this thing. Finding some random ghost corn. That's some freaky stuff right there. Ghost corn. You don't see it till the head starts taking it. to keep it. I'll have a strip of shame here. Try to do what you can. Again. Best I can do is get into this side of the inlet here. So well put together pairing here. Wish I had some gravity cards. Gravity carbons wouldn't fall on my back. Just fall on the bed. It's full up here. So just about two and a quarter. Yeah, something like 2 1/4. Oh, it's 2. Very nice cab inside for the tractor's age. Should sell extremely well on the used market, I think. Shut off all the lights here. I don't think it's necessary anymore. Beeped at here. Told you we were gonna get beeped at, but it doesn't matter. Just enough room to get through the second time. Although I pulled ahead to the second bit. love this tractor. Multiple works. I rarely ever drive them too loud. These. Actually like this one. Get in here and grab up the last. Wasn't much left in there. Don't want to turn with the snouts in the ground. So we're getting the last of this thing first. I always have to check with these things, you know. I really wish we could go over these with balers and get the corn stalk mats. Shift and light. What a beautiful sunrise. It's not light enough just yet. I think I'm gonna do another headland here though. I need to make it big enough to maneuver, and I just don't think it's big enough to get here. Now, obviously, we've got a drainage ditch on the other side of this field. It's interesting to try to as you can see, the readouts are quite positive from the bottom left screen. A lot more corn in there than I had anticipated even getting. So this field actually produces corn at a rate. As well just do one more pass. Do all the headlands at once, but I don't tend to do that with this field, so that may be my own fault. leave this running. Get the tractor trailer truck and pull that right in here. Car almost clipped me. Practically at full capacity on this first trailer. Early spring when the snow clears from the ground here, mulch this ground, then plow it. Alright, let's see. This. This giant field, and we've got that giant field over in the corner. I think we're gonna do a smaller part 2 to this, just so I'm not up half the night. I am getting tired. Gonna try to go for about another half an hour or so, and then we're gonna call it quits for the night. But while we're here, we're doing some corn harvesting, and hopefully we'll actually get our first batch into the dryer. That's kind of what I'm hoping to do, at least get one batch into the corn dryer before we get done tonight. I know for a lot of people, you know, you got to watch the first portion, the first half of this, and it's a lot more. Oh, I didn't realize how full this thing was. Not gonna quite. 18, come on, 18. There we go. Oh, that's okay, Mama Duck. It's one of those nights I was just kind of streaming. I'm trying to keep the dialogue focused on the actual map and the activity at hand. I feel like my dialogue's a bit scattered, and I feel like that really kind of hurts the stream sometimes. And so I'm trying this out. So basically, unless somebody talks to me about something, I'm keeping it to the map, not kind of scattered around to farms and news and information. Yeah, I tend to go all over the place with it, so I'm trying to focus because I'm starting to get a few viewers of that because I'm taking the VODs and I've been uploading them to YouTube, and I'm actually starting to get a couple viewers on YouTube. So it's no big deal that you weren't around. I mean, it's a Saturday night. Honestly, you get very little free time of your own, so I completely understand where you're coming from. So don't feel bad. Of course, you know, if you want to talk about anything. Same name on YouTube. I have, like I said, I have a couple of views on other videos. It's kind of weird. I wasn't expecting it, and all of a sudden it's starting to happen. I don't have too many things uploaded there yet, but the few videos I do have, it's kind of like, whoa, okay. Because I tried to do like Mass Effect, the game Mass Effect on Twitch and get it up on YouTube, and it works, but if it continues to work, I'm thinking about a capture card and doing what they call time-lapse videos, where you do stuff that's just kind of sped up a little. That's rather popular for farm sim stuff, so yeah, definitely, if you get a chance, give me a subscribe. I have a few views on a couple of videos, but I have precisely 1 subscriber on the video. It's kind of weird, but that's how a lot of people, I guess, do YouTube. They don't really subscribe to anything. They just jump on and they watch videos. So a couple of my videos have actually been watched by a few people. It's not anywhere close to big numbers. It's kind of embarrassing. I get excited. Ooh, I got like 2 views on one YouTube video and 1 view on this. So yeah, definitely, if you get the chance, go ahead and subscribe. It's literally the same tag I use on here. I think I have a link in the description on some of the bio stuff, but I'm not very good with that stuff. I probably don't have a current link to my vids, to my actual channel. But I have been trying to spread out a little more and keep these videos a little more focused, so that, you know, if somebody sees it on YouTube, they're like, holy crap, this guy's all over the place. It's bad enough they probably say that if they see my streams on Twitch. small rows of corn. You can see we're actually making some decent progress with this harvester. It's not like we have the smallest harvester. In fact, I feel like we make better progress with this than we would with the T560, which is the twin drum variant and newer harvester size, similar to this. Great for small to medium-sized farms. If I was smart about this, I would be running 2 of these suckers at once, but I don't really want to interrupt myself. Running 2 machines, it kind of defeats the purpose of making money off of this dried corn. That's what we want to do. One of my crop types is due to be sold this month. I'll probably sell it in the last day of the month, to be fair. And if we do a part 2 to this harvest, like we're gonna do, because obviously I'm not gonna get this done within the time that I allotted left for this. But if we do a part 2 to this, I will actually make sure that it's set up and ready to go. We're gonna leave it exactly as is. It's not like I'll finish this field and then move on to the next one. I know we did a part 2 to the silage harvest, which is okay. Obviously, I didn't start off with a harvest. If I had started off with a harvest tonight, I feel like I really could have kept going. I didn't realize how long the 3rd day of the month was going to take. November took a little longer due to the couple of hiccups and the experiment I wanted to do while I was on it. Picking up the honey with the front burner. But now that we're here, harvest, obviously, it's one of those things. We're going to stop doing this just because this is the last field work before we'll probably retire off and not do any field work in January. And start the process, of course, of selling the products. So it'll probably be clearing out snow and selling off harvested products. We've got a couple of productions and everything that are due for this January dried corn. So, we're gonna want to put some dried corn. We're gonna want to put some corn into the dryer right away. That's but yeah, that's kind of where we stand on it. And because we stand on what we stand on, it's hard to really kind of move away. So what I'll probably do moving forward is I'll probably focus on South American map. And we're gonna try to show, obviously, the big deal about that map is the coffee beans and the actual coffee harvester, which is proper to actual harvesting. All the jackdoe equipment on there, and a little different. Obviously, I haven't expanded that to the Jan equipment. There's enough to do over the winter time that we will probably have. Once we get past the harvest, we'll probably have one video going kind of the stuff that happens in winter. I'm trying to zoom around, I don't care. Okay, so if I do... Yeah, Looks like that's the closest one. Looks like I can zoom around a little. So we'll have to try to do that just a tidbit. Excuse me. So this is actually working out Porsche, and Porsche is actually as a green car for this. So basically fill this up 2 times. I'm gonna shut off the lights. Yep. Stay right in the harvester. See, the pipe is long enough, of course, to get out to the grain car. So we clear the bean heads that we have. See all the equipment down there. It's crazy how much of the inner workings you can really see on this. See all the belts and chains. I love it because the details. Details getting off track of stuff now, but it's kind of closing moments of one stream that will lead into another. I feel like I'm right okay to the closing arguments here. It's such a solid stream tonight. Saturday is normally the day we get a long stream for this anyway. And all the crap going on in the world, it's like farming is used as an escape for so many. And I hope, at least for people that do get to see those videos, that they're so anyway. I hope you like the setup here on Frankenmuth. I'm digging this experience quite a lot. And I know there are a few people that are kind of skeptical of the map. They don't really like it too much. But here's the thing, it works for me and I enjoy it. And that's kind of what the rate is to enjoy. Alright, so we've got some minutes here left. So we'll be doing a part 2 of this, so keep your eyes peeled. Obviously, I'm not gonna put part 1 on something that's already coming through. We'll do a part 2, and it will just be a continuation of this. Hopefully, and this is not likely to happen, but hopefully we'll be able to jump back in here. Finish this up tomorrow. I don't see that happening, but you never know. So there's about 15 minutes left of the stream. If you're just getting on, if you're just seeing this, if you're interested, keep in mind, like I said, the VOD will be up for 60 days thanks to Amazon Prime membership. So it kind of helps to have a perk. Plus, it will be on YouTube. Done tonight. I'm actually going to upload these onto the video process from there, get it certified. Sometimes it takes a couple of days for that stuff to go through. I'm not a big creator on there. I don't have a bunch of subscribers or anything on there like that. But our live VODs are there. It's a great place to catch this. This has been an excellent work harvest so far. Just like this has been an excellent stream kind of going over Wednesday stuff that we do on the 3rd of every month. We're going to do 3-day months. Typically on the 3rd day is when I clear my productions and store away in a warehouse. Do anything extra with the animals that needs to be done. Just simply because it helps us roll into the next month and not so much to do. So now I get to corn harvest with this big mamma jamma, and I don't have to worry about anything else. So we are actually clearing the field with a rather substantial you can see the last time that we pulled something off the field, it was a very bad yield of crop. There wasn't this much coming off of it. Where obviously we did the right preparations for the corn. That's exactly where we were kind of seeing that. See proper measures put in place to try to control. So we fertilized, we sprayed herbicide, and did it right just to make sure that any problems in the fall. Now into the December corn harvest, which is freaking crazy. I mean, it's so late in the year, but it doesn't matter. We're running one of our 96 tons. We actually have 2 of these. We will run 2 when we do the soybean next year. I have a feeling we have more than enough corn to convert corn silage to other silage to creating such a large forest. Here, I'm just going to get the top off. Tell you what, we go over the 15 minutes just because I want to get the first load of corn actually on the dryer started. I won't cry. Chewing through this cornfield. This is a substantial amount of corn actually being harvested. Substantial. We're going to shut this off and offload. The reason I'm going to do that is the next downward run will bring us right through the field. Oh. It's a little chilly here in Frankenmuth, but as you can see, my farmer is dressed to the gills. Cab's obviously quite warm, so we don't have to worry too much about the cold there, but we do have to go between tractor and the harvester here, and the Mack truck as well. So let's set ourselves up right here. Yeah, I have to say I'm enjoying this harvester already. This is I had the opportunity in 19 and I never did. This is the first time I'm using the 9610, and I have to say this is a snazzy piece. Okay. 35,000. The horse here. course, the 4955 can handle its payload. The Demco just ends up being too heavy for the type of farm that we have and the amount of fields that we have that are actually pulling grain off. You could satisfy the demand with a Horsch versus with a Demco. Kinsey, like, oh god, there I go destroying corn. Kinsey is a good kind of substitute. I've been waiting for Horsch gravity wagons. I don't think we're gonna see those, which is unfortunate because I'd love to do a smaller farm with some gravity wagons. Let's go ahead. It's already 9:17. We do a ×3 clock. That's pretty common. So we're about to fill that. I'm going to pull forward and fill this back bin because I know there was some space left. Not much, as you can see. I'm actually going to pull the tractor away before I back this up any. I would pull into traffic and just do that, but well, the tractor trailer is actually pulled to the side. I do like how far these things will actually chuck load. I'm going to actually go back and get that and see if it's enough to fill our Mack truck up here. I love kind of that mid-90, what would be typical of the mid-90s. John Deere farms, mid to late 90s. I don't know how much green is honestly in there. Yeah, 1900. Okay. So let's go ahead, let's pipe in, let's lower the head and let's shut the machine completely down. We're gonna go ahead, we'll take what we've got here for corn kernels and we'll put that into the back of the trailer, and then we're gonna run the tractor and the trailer over to the oh my god, I looked away for a second. We're going to take it over to the grain dryer, and we're going to actually dry some corn. I'm actually wicked excited for this. Yeah, and asshole number one decided to come in. Fold the pipe in. Leave the tractor right here. I'll shut that off. Like I said, we're gonna set things up here. Kind of see the wheel slip going there. Try to pull it into this corner of the field and turn it around. If I had been smart, I would have set this truck up to no traffic coming either way. We didn't have traffic going either way here. We used to shut traffic off in FS19. Now in FS22. If you don't, it'll hit you going 60 miles an hour. pull the first load of corn, there's 69,000. There's only 8% space left in the bin anyway, so it actually wouldn't have made much sense to hold off on this much longer, but we'll get it over to the bin, so we'll turn the dryer on, start the process of drying the corn. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not even sure getting beeped at by the traffic. No, I'm tempted to shut off traffic, but I don't really like to do that. Corn, 50,000 liters of propane in there. Start. Oh my god. Okay. So the last thing I actually expected this thing to do was actually dry corn at that rate. Holy schmoly. Okay. Trying to remember. This is bad. I'm actually... Ah, okay. There we go. Just trying to remember how these trailers do this. And it's a tip side function. I cannot believe I completely spaced it, which is okay. Alright, let's get the trailer straightened out here. And that's not, it's not doing it at a ridiculous rate. I mean, it's doing it, right? So it's counting it down. It's doing it at a decent rate. It's not drying it at a ridiculous rate either. So it'll actually be... And it's actually, wow, that's it's not a modded trailer. It's actually going to allow us to do dried corn. So I can already see, you can already see the benefits of doing that, which is rather interesting in my opinion. You don't have to come over here and get this tipper trailer and do dried corn that way. You can actually do it with trailer. So that right there to me is interesting. I may have to experiment with that a little further. What we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna pull this sucker out. We're gonna park it down by the cornfields that we're working on, and that is what I'm gonna call the end of today. Obviously, this is a monumental day for me, as I am doing something different with corn than just harvesting it off the fields, holding it in bins, and then selling it. And I gotta learn to talk between the jig breaks. Let me shut off the jig break for a minute. That's bad. You have to shut off the sound. Thank you, 82 Studio, for doing that, by the way. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Frankenmuth. Obviously, right now at this minute, it doesn't take a whole lot to put these videos together. Obviously, I'm doing a little work on the side to get it to this point. It did take a little work this time around because, honestly, we had to go through and do some field prep work, which we have to get done before we can actually do the corn harvesting and before we can go into the month of November. But overall, this has been a really wonderful experience today. I will say it's going to be pretty epic to sell that dried corn. Moving forward, it's going to be nice to sell the other products and kind of do a few other things that we have in mind. Until the next time, and like I said, this will actually be labeled as part 2. Until I get a chance to stream again, I'll work on a couple of my other maps. Our survival with Western Wilds has some work that needs to be done, so maybe I'll take some time and do that. And our work in South America needs to be done as well, so that you can see more than just standard farm work in a South American map. And Mama Duck, you have a great rest of your weekend too. I'm sorry, I'm not. My eyes are kind of out of focus, and the screen that I watch chat on is kind of out of the way tonight. I've still got it up, but I'm not monitoring things heavy. I'm trying to be just kind of focused. So stay tuned. When we do Frankenmuth next, it'll just be part 2 of the corn harvest. I don't know if that's going to be the next stream or whether we're going to do another one in between. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for watching this. If you watch this on YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe to the video. It does actually help the algorithm quite a lot, so that I can get a few more views in there for people that are searching farm simulator related stuff. Because remember, farming simulator is a very niche audience, and when we're doing stuff that's a very niche audience, we don't have a whole large group to kind of go to. So thank you again, guys, for watching this first half of December corn harvest. Keep an eye out for the second stream that will show the remainder of this. We'll go right into harvest, and we'll keep going until we're done. I'll make sure to have plenty of rest start it early enough so I don't feel like I'm dying here. And have a wonderful and restful weekend. You know, there's not much left to it. We've got one more day to go. But there's plenty of time to rest on Sundays, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.